All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Errol Spence Jr. has been released from the hospital, made it out of that terrible accident, but not completely unscathed, at least is not as far as the law is concerned. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much to the people in the live that come to the live streams, the live stream community and the Patreon community. Thank you guys so much for your support. Also, please attend OG Boxing Talk Sunday mornings, 8 a.m. with myself, my co-host KCKQ Boxing, my man Kurt Anderson, and Blood Boxing. Now, you guys got to forgive me today. Got a little bit of asthma. Need another inhaler. So if you hear me wheezing a little bit, that's what that is. But hey, you know, the show must go on. Well, Errol Spence Jr., we know, was in a car accident after it's a couple of weeks now. A couple of weeks ago now. Might not be quite 2 weeks. But after the Sean Porter fight, and after Bomac released what I think is one of the tackier tweets that I've seen in a while, calling Errol Spence a drunk, saying, you know, last time he checked, the drunk ain't shit. That type of nonsense. You know, unfortunately, Errol Spence Jr. was in a car accident, and now it appears as if he was, at least he's being charged for a DWI or DUI. I'm not sure what the distinction is between the two in the state of Texas, but you know, that's really not, it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. And I'm certainly hoping that this is a learning experience for Errol Spence Jr. and it doesn't happen again. But I mean, just looking at the situation though, when the accident first happened, man, and I don't know if you guys have seen it. Most people have seen this channel, you know, that pay attention to this channel have seen it. Man, that was a horrific accident. We saw the car flip over multiple times through some security footage. And it really did look like it could be a situation where Errol Spence Jr. just, you know, was no longer around. And I think that anybody and everybody in Errol Spence's family, Errol Spence's father, mother, children, girlfriend, close friends, trainers, all have to be just extremely relieved that the fact that he was able to get out of a hospital. Now, but you can't escape youth. And I'm a big believer in this. If it's happens once, it's shame on you. I mean, shame on them. Happens twice, shame on you. When I was about the same age of Errol Spence Jr., when I was in college, it was my birthday, and I was drinking with some friends. I drove home, and I got pulled over. I had a real nice car. Well, I had a nice car at the time, revving my engine, you know, doing all that, going through the streets of DC. It was probably around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was pulled over. And they asked me to blow. You know, you put those little things in your mouth where they check your alcohol level. I didn't do it, and because I knew that I had been drinking, so they gave me a test. And they let me go. Eventually, you know, I go. I think they might have taken me in. I think they might have actually taken me in. I can't remember. It's been so long ago now. That was back in like 1996. So that's going on. That's 23 years ago, right? So that happened to me. I wind up having to take a class, right? This is really during the time when MAD and all that stuff was first coming, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And there was really a big push to have people prosecuted and really put a press on drinking and driving. Now, myself, at the time that happened, I thought that, I had been done wrong. And it took maybe some years later where I realized, wow, I was really driving through the streets of DC too fast. And it was my birthday. I was drinking on my birthday with some friends. But if I had been in a car accident and I'd hurt myself, that would not have brought me back, right? Just it being my birthday or feeling like, I really wasn't that intoxicated. I had went to school in New Orleans before, so that was just the way you just go to parties, you come home, you drive. There was just a lot of that people do. So a lot of people drink and drive. That was the reason for MAD to begin with, because it's such a prevalence. It was so prevalent, and it is prevalent. But after it happened to me, and some years later, now to me, I feel like I learned a lesson, because it's now, it happened in 1996, and it's now 2019, 23 years later, and it's never happened again. I feel like I learned my lesson, but I also thought about it the whole time, like, wow, I'm glad that happened to me. And it happened to me in that way, where one, I didn't get in a car accident. Number two, nobody else got hurt. Because if somebody had been hurt, it would have been absolutely tragic. If not just tragic emotionally, it would have been tragically, as in I would have wound up going to jail if somebody had actually been hurt in a car accident while that was going on. So, this is a perfect opportunity for Errol Spence Jr. to learn. Now, I'm not on his boxing career. His boxing career, and whether or not you should drink alcohol whether a boxer should drink alcohol or not, and whether that is going to affect his ability to train and, live up to his fullest expectation as a fighter, that's on Errol Spence Jr. If Errol Spence Jr. wants to drink in the privacy of his home, if he wants to go to a bar and have a drink and then come home, take a Uber home, have somebody, pay somebody to come pick up his car, drive his car home, or take an Uber, leave his car where his car is, come back and get it the next morning. If he wants to do those type of things, man, I'm not going to chastise him for that. There's a whole bunch of people that do those type of things every day. Millions and millions of people do that. Many of the people that are criticizing Errol Spence Jr. do that. Go home, have a drink at home. And I'd be very, very surprised if many of them don't have some amount of alcohol in them on occasion and then drive from point A to point B. So, for me, I'm not going to cast a stone at the dude for it happening one time. Man, he has a good problem though. The problem is that, he probably has to pay for the towing of his car. I'm sure he has insurance on the car, probably complete insurance on the car, which was very expensive. So he's going to he'll get a monetary hit and a bump up in his auto insurance rates. He's going to wind up more than likely, he's going to wind up having to take classes, alcohol classes, and alcohol related, education classes, similar to what you do not much more difficult than what you do on YouTube when you have a copyright violation. They're going to make you attend a bunch of classes and go through all kind of stuff. But the most important thing, man, for him to do is just really reflect on how fortunate he is that he is alive, how fortunate that he is that he didn't harm anybody when his car flipped over, his car didn't fly into somebody's house or fly up into somebody's living room. I have a friend who, ironically enough, is from Dallas, and he fell asleep at the wheel at college and literally drove his car and plowed his car into somebody's living room, went right through the front up into the living room. And, hey, man, he learned his lesson as well. So let's just hope Errol Spence Jr. actually, learns his lesson. This doesn't happen again. Boxing is not what's most important. Errol Spence Jr.'s got a long life to live. His family has a long life to live, and they're going to need him there for that. So, bad situation all the way around. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And that's what it is, man. But hey, let he without sin cast the first stone. Let's not jump too high up on that high hog about this type of stuff. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.